What if I told you that one of South Korea's biggest stars deliberately walked away from Hollywood millions? That Kim Soo-hyun, the man who captivated audiences worldwide, turned his back on the American dream when it was handed to him on a silver platter. This isn't just another celebrity story. This is about a decision so shocking that it left Hollywood executives speechless and changed the trajectory of an entire career forever. You're about to discover the untold truth behind Kim Soo-hyun's controversial choice to reject Hollywood, the family pressures that influenced his decision, and the personal sacrifices that came with staying loyal to his roots. But more importantly, you'll learn why this decision might have been the smartest move of his career, even though it cost him everything he thought he wanted. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments what you think about celebrities choosing authenticity over fame. Your thoughts matter to us, and we read every single comment. Picture this: Seoul, 2014. The winter air is crisp, and the city buzzes with excitement over the global success of My Love from the A*Star. In a sleek conference room overlooking the Han River, Kim Soo-hyun sits across from his management team. 3 Hollywood contracts spread across the mahogany table. Each one represents a different path to international stardom, complete with 7-figure paychecks and guaranteed roles in major American productions. But here's what nobody knew at the time. Kim Soo-hyun had already made up his mind before he even walked into that room. The decision that would shock the entertainment world wasn't made in a boardroom surrounded by suits and contracts. It was made 3 weeks earlier in his childhood bedroom in his mother's modest apartment in Gangnam, where he grew up dreaming of becoming an actor. The apartment itself tells a story of humble beginnings. Unlike the luxurious penthouses many assume celebrities grow up in, Kim Soo-hyun's childhood home was a typical middle-class Korean apartment. The walls were thin enough that he could hear his neighbors' conversations, and the small living room doubled as his practice space where he would rehearse lines late into the night. His mother, Lee Mi-young, sat on the edge of his old bed, the same bed where young Soo-hyun used to practice his lines for school plays. The conversation they had that night would change everything. She didn't tell him what to do. Instead, she asked him a simple question that cut through all the glamour and money. Who do you want to be when you look in the mirror 10 years from now? The weight of that question hit him harder than any script he'd ever memorized. Kim Soo-hyun realized that accepting Hollywood meant more than just moving to Los Angeles. It meant potentially losing the cultural identity that made him who he was as an actor. The subtle expressions, the deep emotional connections he formed with Korean audiences, the way he could convey entire stories through a single glance, would all of that translate to American cinema? But the pressure wasn't just coming from one side. His international management team painted vivid pictures of red carpet premieres, A-list collaborations, and global recognition that would dwarf anything he could achieve in South Korea. They arranged meetings with Korean actors who had found success in Hollywood, hoping their testimonials would sway his decision. The team showed him detailed financial projections, explaining how a successful Hollywood career could set up not just him, but his entire family for generations. They talked about the charitable work he could fund, the doors that would open, and the platform he would have to represent Korean culture on a global stage. The arguments were compelling, and for moments, Kim Soo-hyun found himself imagining a different future. Meanwhile, rumors began circulating in Korean entertainment circles. Some whispered that Kim Soo-hyun was being ungrateful, that he was wasting an opportunity that thousands of actors would kill for. Others praised him for his loyalty to Korean cinema. The industry was divided, and suddenly, everyone had an opinion about a decision that was deeply personal. The 3 Hollywood offers on the table weren't just any ordinary contracts. The first was from a major studio wanting him for a leading role in a big-budget action franchise, potentially spanning multiple films over 5 years. The second came from an acclaimed director known for launching international careers, offering a supporting role in an intimate character study that critics were already calling award-worthy. The third was perhaps the most tempting, a supporting role in a film that was already generating Oscar buzz, working alongside actors he had admired since childhood. This particular offer included a clause that would guarantee him consideration for the lead role in the director's next project, essentially providing a clear pathway to A-list Hollywood status. What makes this story even more compelling is what happened behind closed doors during the negotiation period. Kim Soo-hyun's Korean agency was torn between supporting their biggest star's artistic vision and the enormous commissions they would lose if he walked away from Hollywood. Internal meetings became heated, with some executives questioning whether they had failed their client. Some executives threatened to drop him if he didn't take at least one of the offers, arguing that his decision would damage the agency's reputation with international partners. Others supported his right to choose his own path, recognizing that forcing a decision could backfire spectacularly. During this tumultuous period, Kim Soo-hyun found himself questioning everything he thought he knew about success and happiness. He spent sleepless nights walking through the streets of Seoul, from the bustling markets of Myeongdong to the quiet paths along the Cheonggyecheon stream, trying to find clarity in the familiar sounds and smells of his homeland. These midnight walks became a form of meditation for him. In Myeongdong, surrounded by street food vendors and late-night shoppers, he remembered his early days as a struggling actor when he couldn't afford the expensive meals he now took for granted. Along the Cheonggyecheon, listening to the gentle flow of water through the heart of the city, he felt connected to Seoul's history. The turning point came during a conversation with his longtime friend and fellow actor, who had attempted to break into Hollywood years earlier, but returned to Korea after struggling with the cultural barriers and typecasting. This friend shared stories about Korean actors who went to Hollywood only to find themselves playing stereotypical roles that didn't showcase their true talents. His friend described the loneliness of being the only Asian actor on set, the pressure to represent an entire culture while being given dialogue that felt foreign and inauthentic. He talked about auditions where directors asked him to be more Asian or less Asian, depending on what they thought the scene needed. These stories painted a picture of Hollywood that was far from the glamorous image Kim Soo-hyun had been presented. With the fear of being reduced to a token Asian actor in American films became one of Kim Soo-hyun's biggest concerns. He had worked too hard to develop his craft, to create characters with depth and nuance, to risk being pigeonholed into one-dimensional roles that served the plot rather than explored the human condition. What do you think so far? Was Kim Soo-hyun being too cautious, or was his concern about losing his cultural identity in Hollywood justified? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As the deadline for his decision approached, Kim Soo-hyun retreated to his family's ancestral home in the countryside, a traditional hanok house that had been in the family for generations. The house, with its curved rooflines and wooden floors that creaked with history, provided a stark contrast to the modern glass towers of Seoul, where his career had flourished. Surrounded by the simplicity of rural Korean life, away from the neon lights of Seoul and the pressure of the entertainment industry, he began to see his situation more clearly. The hanok had survived Japanese occupation, the Korean War, and decades of rapid modernization. It represented continuity, tradition, and the strength that comes from deep roots. His grandmother, now in her 80s, shared stories about the family's history, about ancestors who had faced difficult choices between tradition and modernization during Korea's turbulent 20th century. She reminded him that success isn't always measured in dollars or global recognition, but in staying true to your values and the people who raised you. During those quiet days in the countryside, Kim Soo-hyun started writing in a journal, documenting his fears, hopes, and dreams. These private thoughts revealed a man grappling with the weight of expectation and the fear of making the wrong choice. He wrote about his love for Korean storytelling, the unique emotional depth of Korean dramas, and his desire to be part of the movement that was bringing Korean culture to the world on its own terms. The entertainment industry, meanwhile, was buzzing with speculation. Paparazzi camped outside his apartment building, his agency's offices, and even his mother's home. Entertainment reporters analyzed his every public appearance for clues about his decision. International media outlets began running stories about the Korean star who might be turning his back on Hollywood stardom. But perhaps the most revealing moment came during a private dinner with his closest friends from his acting school days. These were people who knew him before the fame, before the money, before the world fell in love with his performances. Over bowls of kimchi jjigae and bottles of soju, they talked openly about what success really meant. The dinner took place at a small restaurant in Hongdae that they had frequented as struggling young actors. The owner, who remembered when they could barely afford a single dish to share among the group, treated them with the same casual familiarity as in the old days. This normalcy, this connection to his pre-fame identity, felt precious to Kim Soo-hyun. 1. Friend challenged him directly. Are you afraid of failing in Hollywood? Or are you afraid of succeeding so much that you lose yourself? This question haunted Kim Soo-hyun for days. Was his decision based on artistic integrity? Or was it rooted in fear of stepping outside his comfort zone? The pressure intensified when leaked reports suggested that one of the Hollywood offers came with a clause that would require him to relocate to Los Angeles for at least 3 years and commit to learning American method acting techniques. For Kim Soo-hyun, who had developed his craft through years of studying traditional Korean performance arts, this felt like being asked to abandon everything that made him unique as an actor. His decision also had unexpected consequences for his personal relationships. Some friends in the industry began treating him differently, either with newfound respect for his principles or with disappointment at what they saw as a missed opportunity. Family gatherings became tense as relatives debated whether he was being wise or foolish. The final week before his decision deadline was perhaps the most stressful period of Kim Soo-hyun's entire career. He consulted with veteran Korean actors who had navigated similar crossroads in their careers. Some advised him to take the Hollywood plunge while he was at the peak of his popularity. Others warned him about the challenges of being a foreign actor in an industry that often struggled with authentic representation. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this incredible journey. You've been amazing. And trust me, the best part of this story is yet to come. On the day Kim Soo-hyun was scheduled to give his final answer to the Hollywood offers, he woke up in his Seoul apartment to find the city covered in the first snow of winter. As he watched the snowflakes fall on the bustling streets below, he realized that this moment, this connection to his homeland, this feeling of belonging, was something he wasn't ready to trade for any amount of money or fame. His phone call to his international representatives was brief but decisive. "I'm staying in Korea," he said simply. The silence on the other end of the line spoke volumes. Within hours, entertainment news outlets around the world were reporting the shocking news. Kim Soo-hyun had turned down Hollywood. The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind of mixed reactions. International fans expressed disappointment at missing the chance to see him in major American productions. Korean fans celebrated his loyalty to the domestic industry. Hollywood executives were reportedly stunned, with some questioning whether his representatives had communicated the offers clearly. But Kim Soo-hyun's decision proved to be remarkably prescient. Within 2 years of turning down Hollywood, the Korean wave exploded globally in ways no one had predicted. Korean dramas began topping international streaming charts. Korean films started winning major international awards. The very cultural authenticity that Kim Soo-hyun had fought to preserve became the key to Korea's unprecedented soft power influence worldwide. His subsequent projects, including It's Okay to Not Be Okay and his return to the screen after military service, demonstrated the wisdom of his choice. These roles allowed him to explore complex characters that were deeply rooted in Korean culture, while still appealing to international audiences. He had found a way to achieve global recognition without compromising his artistic identity. The international success of It's Okay to Not Be Okay was particularly vindicating. The drama's exploration of mental health, trauma, and healing resonated with audiences worldwide, proving that universal themes could be explored through distinctly Korean storytelling methods. Kim Soo-hyun's nuanced performance earned praise from critics who noted that his emotional range seemed to have deepened. The irony wasn't lost on industry observers when Hollywood began actively seeking Korean content and talent, essentially coming to Kim Soo-hyun rather than the other way around. The offers that had once required him to abandon his roots were replaced by opportunities that celebrated his Korean identity. Looking back, Kim Soo-hyun's decision represents more than just one actor's career choice. It symbolizes a shift in the global entertainment landscape, where authenticity and cultural specificity became more valuable than generic international appeal. His story became an inspiration for other Korean actors who faced similar crossroads, showing them that success didn't require abandoning their heritage. Today, as Kim Soo-hyun continues to captivate audiences worldwide while remaining true to his Korean roots, his decision to turn down Hollywood seems less like a missed opportunity and more like a masterstroke of long-term career planning. He didn't just choose Korea over America, he chose authenticity over assimilation, and in doing so, he helped pave the way for the global recognition of Korean entertainment that we see today. The Americans didn't just miss out on Kim Soo-hyun's talent. They missed out on understanding the power of authentic cultural storytelling that would eventually revolutionize the entertainment industry worldwide. What an incredible journey we've shared today. Kim Soo-hyun's story proves that sometimes the bravest decision is staying true to yourself, even when the whole world is telling you to change. His choice to turn down Hollywood wasn't just about rejecting money or fame. It was about believing in the power of authentic storytelling and cultural identity. This story makes us think about our own choices in life. How often do we face pressure to abandon what makes us unique in pursuit of what others define as success? Kim Soo-hyun's courage to follow his heart, despite the criticism and uncertainty, ultimately led to an outcome that exceeded everyone's expectations. What do you think about Kim Soo-hyun's decision? Do you believe he made the right choice, or do you think he should have taken the Hollywood opportunity? Have you ever had to choose between staying true to your roots and pursuing a seemingly better opportunity? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives and stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more untold stories about your favorite Korean stars, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. We've got an incredible video coming up that will surprise you about another major Korean celebrity's secret that changed everything. You won't want to miss it.